Ever noticed the beautiful blurry background in a portrait and wondered how on earth did photographers make that happen? Well, you're about to find out. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Shoot Happens, and this is a series where it's designed specifically for beginner photographers and folks who simply want to brush up on their photography concepts. Now, the end result is that you will gain new and better skills to keep you improving the quality of your images. So if you enjoy these type of videos, make sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And besides, well, it helps the channel and that helps the channel grow, and we do appreciate that. So thank you in advance. Now, let's shift lanes and talk about bokeh. This is one of those photography words that, it sounds fancy, but in all actuality, it's pretty simple. Bokeh refers to the quality of out of focus areas in your image, usually the background. When photographers talk about creamy bokeh or smooth bokeh, they're basically talking about how nice, soft that blur looks. And yes, people really say creamy. Photography can be dramatic just like that. So what do photographers use bokeh for? Well, for one, it isolates your subject. When the background melts away, well, your viewer's eye goes right to what matters. It's great for hiding distracting elements that you can't control, like the garbage cans, messy rooms, or that one stranger who always seems to be making direct eye contact with your camera. Bokeh doesn't just make your photos look pretty though, it makes them look cleaner, more intentional, way easier to understand at a glance. Now, the question is this: how do you actually get bokeh? Well, first, use a wide aperture. Now this means smaller f numbers like f1.8, f2, f2.8. Now the wider the aperture, the shallower your depth of field and the smoother your background blur. Second, get close to your subject. The closer you are, well, the more the background tends to drop out. Third, put distance between your subject and whatever's behind them. So if your subject is 5 feet from a wall, the wall probably won't blur much. If you're 20 feet from the tree lines, suddenly you've got that dreamy background people absolutely love. Lens choice also plays a big role. A 50mm, 85mm prime lens is a classic portrait bokeh lens. Why is that? Well, because prime lenses open wider than zooms and really have a pleasing blur quality. But even if you don't own a fancy lens, you can still get bokeh. Just zoom in, step back a little, and use the widest aperture your lens allows. Your gear might not be bokeh monster level, but you can absolutely make it work. Here's a real-world example. Let's say you're taking a portrait of a friend at a park. Position them, well, a good distance in front of faraway trees, for example. Set your aperture to the widest setting and focus on their eyes. And boom, you see the trees in the background turn soft, round blobs of color. Or maybe you're indoors and want some creative shape to the background blur. Point your camera towards a string of lights, open up your aperture, and those tiny bulbs transform into glowing orbs. It's basically photography magic, but without the cape. Now, another thing to remember is that bokeh, well, it isn't always about the background being blurry. Sometimes the foreground blur can be just as beautiful. Try shooting through plants, leaves, or even holiday decorations to get colorful, soft shapes in front of your image. It adds depth, mood, and a little extra polish that always looks more advanced than the skill actually requires. And as you start practicing, you're going to start noticing different lenses create, well, different types of bokeh. Now, some create more round and smooth, others could be more kind of geometric. Some people get very opinionated about what counts as good bokeh, but here's the truth. If it helps your subject stand out and you like the way it looks, it's good bokeh. It's that simple. If you have questions about getting better bokeh, or you just want to share your favorite lens for those blurry backgrounds, drop a comment down below and I'll be happy to help. And don't forget to check out my other Shoot Happens videos. They can help you build more beginner photography skills that will help you keep improving your images. All right, friends, that's it for me here today. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.